Hey mathematicians, happy Monday. I hope that your day's off to a marvelous start. There's a little knock knock joke up above me to give you a smile this morning. We're going to jump right into things, so make sure you're prepared for class with your materials and that you're in a good learning space. Our learning goal for today, and actually for tomorrow as well, this is going to be a lesson that's going to span over 2 days, is mathematicians will review and practice translating verbal statements into inequalities. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but it's really not. Let's break it down a little bit. So verbal statements are just sentences in math, such as there are at least 12 kids on the soccer team. That's a verbal statement. And an inequality, as you learned on Friday, is a mathematical statement that uses symbols such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So today we're going to match some of those statements or sentences in math to inequalities, which again is just a comparison between two numbers. Before we get into inequalities and translating them from sentences, I have a riddle for you. Here we go. I am a 3-digit number, 3 digits. My tens digit is 6 more than my ones digit. My hundreds digit is 8 less than my tens digit. What number am I? So go ahead and press pause now. Hold onto the riddle on the screen and grab a whiteboard or a piece of paper or your math binder and see if you can figure out that 3-digit number. All right, press pause and give it a shot. Okay, are you ready? So here's what I did. Hopefully you can see my whiteboard okay. So I knew it was 3 digits and it talked about hundreds, tens, and ones, so I labeled that. That's my H, T, and O. And let's see if 193 works. Is my tens digit 6 more than my ones digit? Yeah, 9 is 6 more than 3. Is my hundreds digit 8 less than my tens digit? Yeah, 1 is 8 less than 9. So hopefully you got 193. Feel free to write that riddle down and see if your parents or a sibling can figure that out today. A little reminder, Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can find me in Google Meet from 11 to 12 noon by using the code MATH6GOLD. It was great to see some of you last week, just connecting, talking about math, talking about how this is all going, answering questions that you have. Tomorrow, we are actually all going to meet at 11 o'clock in Google Meet. Again, you're going to log in using the code MATH6GOLD, and you'll see me and your classmates in there at 11. So make sure if you have a calendar or a sticky note, or if you're using the planner on your phone or your actual agenda from Wes, that you're writing that down. We are going to meet as a whole class in Google Meet tomorrow, Tuesday at 11 a.m. So on Friday, you were introduced or reintroduced to some of these symbols. So we have seen the less than sign before. And other keywords that go with that sign or symbol are fewer than. You've seen greater than. Another way to say that would be more than. And then you were introduced to these new signs, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. So you'll notice it still has the less than sign, and then it just has the little line, almost like part of an equal sign, underneath. Other key phrases that go with less than or equal to are at most or no more than. So if we were at a yard sale and they said everything on this table is $5 or less, it's equal to $5 or at most is $5. So like if you went into like the store Five Below, you know, usually, sometimes they do have more expensive things, but most of the things in that store are $5 or less, so they're no more than $5. Over here we have greater than or equal to. Again, we see our greater than sign, and then the line underneath, that means it's either greater than or it's equal to. So we could also hear phrases around that sign such as at least or no less than. So you can think of an example of you need to be at least 5'3" to go on this ride. So you could be 5'3", you could be equal to it, or you could be taller than 5'3" to go on a roller coaster. We are going to now take a look at the assignment that's going to take you through today and tomorrow. So remember I said this lesson is spanning over 2 days. So today you'll get your lesson video right now, and then your practice is going to be for today and tomorrow. So you can pace yourself out. You don't need to do it all today because it is quite a good amount of practice problems. But you do want to have the whole practice done by Tuesday at 11. So you'll have all of today, Monday, to work on it, and then you have Tuesday morning also if you want to wake up early or after your meeting with advisory, you can work on it, because we will be meeting Tuesday at 11 in our Google Meet. And again, that code is Math6Gold. All right, I'm going to take you over to the practice page. I'm going to pause for a moment so I can adjust the screen. All right, here we are. You will see a link to this on the assignment sheet that's posted on the West website. And again, this practice is for today, Monday, and tomorrow, Tuesday. Translating verbal statements to inequalities. You are just going to record your answers on a piece of notebook paper in your math notebook. So you're not actually going to be filling any of these boxes out. There's nothing to send back to me or turn in. You can print this if you prefer to write on it, but if you don't have a printer or your printer's not working, like my printer is never working, you can totally just write your answers down on a piece of lined paper. So up top are the examples. It goes over the symbols, their meaning, the key words that to look for when you're reading the verbal statements below. And then they give you a verbal statement and the algebraic statement, or the inequality. Let's look at this first example. I want to exceed the most points I've scored in a game, which is 28. So P, the letter P, is going to represent points. So they put the points are more than 28. Because that's what this person wants to do. They want to exceed or go above the points. So the points would be greater than 28. Let's look at the second example. To receive a children's discount at the movies, you must be under 13. Let A represent age. So here you can see the inequality. A is less than 13. The age has to be less than 13 to receive the discount. Let's take a look at the third example. Your essay must be at least 5 pages long. So that means that it could be 5 pages. Could it be more? Sure. So your pages are greater than or equal to 5. And the last example. John has a spending limit of $300. So a limit, so he can spend no more than $300. Can he spend $300? Yeah. So the spending is less than or equal to 300. So he can spend up to $300 because that's his limit. Here are going to be the practice problems you're going to do. Again, you can print this out and solve right on here, or you can just number them and solve on a piece of paper. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 examples with you to get you started, and I'll model on the whiteboard how I would record this if I was doing it on my math notebook. So although it's not listed as number 1, I'm going to call the first one number 1. So I'm just going to put a number 1 here on my whiteboard. Then I'm going to read the verbal statement. To be allowed on a children's ride at the fair, The child must be under 50 pounds. Let W equal weight. Okay, so now I'm going to think about my algebraic statement. I know I'm going to have a W because W is the weight. So I know my variable already in my inequality, and I know my number is 50. So on my whiteboard to start, I just wrote a W and a 50 because I knew that that was the variable and that's the number I'm going to use. So I'm going to reread it. To be allowed on the children's ride at the fair, the child must be under 50. So the weight has to be less than 50. Must be under 50. So they can't be 50 pounds. Has to be under 50. So here's my inequality. W is less than 50. The weight is less than 50. And that's what you're going to do for number 1. You don't have to worry about this. That's totally fine. You don't have to fill that out. Just focus on reading the verbal statement and then filling in the algebraic statement. And the algebraic statement is just another way of saying inequality. All right, so right under that, I'm going to set up for problem number 2. The speed limit is 70 miles per hour. Let S represent speed. So again, I'm going to put my variable, which is S, and my speed limit, which is 70. I learned from the example above that the limit means you can be at it, but you can't go over it. So the speed limit, or what you can go up to and including, is 70. So the speed limit, so you can't go over 70. All right. So your speed has to be less than or equal to 70. Speed is less than or equal to 70 because the limit, how high you can go, is 70. All right, let's try one more. Number 3. You must be at least 16 years old to drive a car. Let A represent age. Okay, pause the video, give this one a shot on a piece of paper or in your head, but pause it and then we'll come back together and we'll see if we got the same thing. All right, number 3, did you get A is greater than or equal to 16? You must be at least 16. So you can be older than 16, but you have to be at least 16 years old. And that's what my inequality shows. All right, my dears, you are going to work through the rest of these problems. Now, there is an answer key. Okay, so that is down here. If you want to be checking your work, oh, that number is just wrong. There is an answer key, but so if you really aren't sure about one and you want to check it, feel free to, but remember we are going to meet tomorrow at 11 on Google Meet. So try really, really hard to work through these without peeking down at that answer key. If you have problems or questions, just put a star next to that one and we'll be able to talk about inequalities tomorrow on our Google Meet. As always, email me if you have any questions. I'm so proud of all of your work and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 11. Have a good day, guys.